All right, now that we're recording, Alicia's actually going to start us off today. She's got a couple announcements, and then she'll do our poll because she's then going to sign off so we can finish up. Then we'll finish up the meeting after that. So take it away, Alicia. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. The poll is live, so you guys can vote on it. It's about if we should add some more things to the Rochester Library, so it's more similar to the FCC Universal Library. For example, the FCC Universal Library has like more photo box options, formatted headline text, those kinds of things. So share your thoughts on that. And then there's another option just in case you don't really feel strongly either way, or just feel strongly about bacon. And then I'm home with a sick kid, so I got to log off here quick. But one thing that I want to touch on is that we have had a lot of headlines going through lately that have had to be changed, not only for our print or e-edition, but that have had to be pulled back and changed for online as well on the web, essentially because they were written in a way that could get us sued. So I just kind of want to go over that. Editors are talking to all the reporters. Matt Corey is talking to the copy editing team. Kind of everybody involved in any aspect of production this is being talked to them about, because it's really important that we don't get sued. So essentially what the problem is that we are having headlines that are written in such a way that essentially convicts a person who is only accused of a crime. And so that's something that we need to watch out for. We cannot say in a headline, for example, that someone ran over someone with a truck if they're only accused of running someone over with a truck, because in the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. That's how our legal system works. And if we say in a headline things that are not accurate, we can be sued and we can be accused of poisoning jury pools, and it's like a whole thing. So make sure that headlines say, like, Moorhead woman accused of running over a man in truck, or police say woman drove over boyfriend, or like whatever it is. Police say man shot someone at bar, man arrested in robbery, but not for robbery, because the word for implies somebody did it. This is it's a technical thing that legally the words in and for mean different things. So if you say that somebody was arrested for robbery, that means they're a robber. If you say someone was arrested in a robbery, that means they're arrested in connection to the robbery. And that essentially that they're that they're being questioned in connection to that. They were arrested in connection to it, but it's not saying that they did it. If you're looking at a headline and it seems wonky, just ask an editor, ask a copy editor. If I'm on, ask me, call me at home. I don't care. I just want to make sure that we are keeping an eye on that and looking out for not only our company's best interest, but really just ethical journalism to make sure that we're doing what we should be. The reporter should be getting it right in the first place. Editors should be catching it. If they don't, proofreaders should be catching it. But the more people who are paying attention to this kind of thing, the better. So please, please, please just keep an eye on that. Obviously, very, very important. Any questions on that? Kelly, stop. All right, I will show everyone the poll results. Sounds like yes, you would like that library expanded, and also pro-bacon. So looks like we've got about a quarter of you are on the side of bacon, so I dig it. Callie is pro-bacon when she's not sick. All right. I am going to log off here then and leave you in the very capable hands of your team leaders. If you have any questions later, any questions for me, want to talk to me about anything at all, you guys know I'm always available. Shoot me a message. I will talk to you later. Thank you all. Bye.
Okay, the rest that we have for today is the weekly tip, and that's going to be presented by Angela here in a second. And then we got our style guide feature, and then just a couple of items to address after that. So we'll let Angela go over her topic about how to find and use skeletons. Angela, are you ready to go?
I am, but I thought I was teaching everyone how to make slime.
I mean, I think that was beneficial. Everyone being at home needs something to do, getting creative.
No, that was my icebreaker. So let's see if this goes smoothly here. Can everyone hear me? Okay. All right, I'm showing you guys how the skeletons work. I'm sure everyone's worked with them, but I'm just going to show you how I've been doing it and my frustrations I'm going to talk about. Michael knows all about those, but I'm going to use Wilmer as an example as far as the budgeting and how they have theirs set up. So when you have your budget, you just look at the top, look to see what number they chose. Then you go to your library or your toolbox, as I like to call it. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So then you just type in the property you're working with, which Wilmer. I suppose I should spell it right. And then you just scroll through and find the 1.3. On this specific day, they're requesting the marketing ad be removed. So as you can see here, that marketing ad's there. But you just scroll down, find your 1.31, and then drag and drop on the page. I'm going to delete that for right now, but I'm going to remove that marketing ad and then put that back on the page.
Angela, use the A1, not the 1.3,
Yep.
not the inside one.
1.3.1,
Yeah, but
1.3.1.
Okay.
What do you mean?
No,
Did I grab the wrong one?
Yeah, you picked the inside one.
Oh shit. Sorry. So yes, make sure you grab the right one. So that is an inside page. That would be used for sports, right, Michael?
Yep, sports and features. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I grabbed the wrong one. Yep. Yeah, just drag and drop. And then I just scroll over and line it up because it doesn't line up. So sometimes you have to like rework for the marketing ad, and then sometimes they'll ask for like a 2x2, or there's different sizes that you can find in the library. You just look through the Wilmer library, and then it's like A1 ad sizes. So I don't know if that'll come up. Ad. So if they're requesting a different ad size, then that's when you'd search this up and then pull that over and then rework to what they want. See that? Everyone see that? And then usually Wilmer will have, like here on their budget, they'll have their print head set up if they're going to change it. I like to pull from here because when they do it in the actual document, sometimes it's like all jacked up and you have to reformat it. But with this, yeah, this one. And you just download copy your text over and then yeah, just copy your headlines from the budget because this one obviously isn't set up to the skeleton in the document. Yeah, just copy and paste it. And then sometimes you gotta mess with it, like the sizing, whatever. But usually Wilmer's pretty good about having everything set up the way it should be. Yeah, anyway, okay, so yeah, just copy and then do your same thing with the sub headline. Copy and paste it over. Is this making sense to everyone? Everyone pretty much knows how to do it, right?
Yeah, there's some
Those
people
were
that
the-
haven't. There's some people that haven't had interactions with it yet, but it's pretty clear so far.
And I don't know, I take the text wrap off because I think it's too deep. Don't you agree, or is that the style? I always bring it down to 0.125. Michael?
Yeah, I can update that if it's too deep. I just know that before people weren't using any text wrap and it was too close. So, but I can adjust those.
Yeah, I switch it like every time, but
Well, okay, you could have said something. I'll fix it.
it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, I don't know, like the CP, again, the headlines aren't on the document, but they probably have it basically set up on the document. What is that what that is, the hard returns? Is that why I have to adjust that? Because I always go in and adjust over here, those hard returns. I take that off and then it boots it up. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I think either way is fine. I'm trying to figure out a way so that editors don't hit returns, but I also want it to be as clear as possible for us. So I'm trying to find a happy medium that I haven't found yet.
Okay. Yeah, but that's how I do it. That probably would help. Not copying and pasting, but if it's on that, like, when I'm finding on the Google document, it's all screwed up. Then you have to like reformat the bylines and the headline and everything. So. And then I use my eyedropper tool and do this just to get it done. And then sometimes the character counts will be off, and then that's when you just reach out to your editor and tell them how many characters they're off, if it needs to be longer, shorter. Yeah, that's basically it as far as those go. But as far as the skeletons, yes, you want to make sure you're grabbing, for an A1, you want to make sure you're grabbing an A1 page, and then the IC is for an inside sports page, or is that any sports or any inside page?
Yeah, we have A1 set up, and that's for strictly A1s because they have the deeper flag and the index and stuff like that. Then we have IC at the start for inside covers. Those are like any inside cover. It can be used on outdoors, features, or sports, any other one that's on the inside. And then for Wilmer and for other ones coming up, we're going to start doing opinion, and they'll start with OPN at the beginning. This is all on the designer website too. You can go on there and see which ones we have available, and also the particular counts and all the information that the editors have is also available to you guys.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. Thanks, Michael, for leading that. Does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Angela.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. The only thing I'm going to announce, just in case, just for the recording, Joe did mention that if you have any hard returns in the headlines, in the Google Doc, in that publishing table, make sure you're letting the hub manager know, because that's something that the editors shouldn't be doing. Because obviously, if they do it to the headline or the subheadline or even the bylines, it'll look, when you run your script in InDesign, it'll actually start applying the next style after that, and it just screws everything up. So if you see that, just make sure you're letting the hub manager know. Okay, couple topics to address related to skeletons. Superior is going to start using skeletons next week. Pine and Lakes is going to start in 2 weeks. And those, I believe, are both ready to go. So Michael has those done and ready to go.
Those are all in the library.
Yep, and all ready in the library. And then the last thing was just, we've been seeing it a couple times now where an odd cut line placement is happening, where it's not under the photo and it's not a side saddle format. It's kind of something else. This is happening on features pages where it's maybe got a bit of an odd placement, or if it's it starts to look like a side saddle, but it isn't quite because it's not formatted quite right. So basically, I'm not going to show you any examples because I don't want to give you guys any bad ideas. So basically, what we want you to be doing is always use the cut line or run the cut line underneath your photo like it's set up in the library, always. And then if you're having problems with that fitting underneath the photo because you kind of run into a situation, that's where you can use the side saddle cut lines. That's it. So if we start seeing it more, any oddball type things, we can address it in a couple weeks and give you guys some examples of more stricter things that we definitely don't want to be seeing. But for now, plain Jane, just make sure you're using the underneath the photo or the side saddle format for photos. And then the style guide feature for today, we're actually going to dive into Rochester stuff. So similar to our FCC Universal Style Guide, there is one for Rochester. There is a bit more in depth, so we'll break that down in the meetings to come, and we'll go over that bit by bit so you guys can become more familiar with that also. Today, I wanted to go over just the kind of a Rochester prep, like what you need to have before you can even get started. We do have a guide set up for this, so I will send this out in the meeting. But everyone should have a Rochester folder set up on their desktop. For that is because in that folder, you need to have your document fonts folder. And this ensures that the working files you download from PageTrack work correctly and the fonts all work correctly when they're dragged and moved to this Rochester folder on your desktop. And what I mean by that is when you download them, obviously they download to your working folder. I know some of you work off your desktops, or I work out of my downloads folder, so they go directly to my downloads. But what I recommend you do is when you download a Rochester page from PageTrack is you're taking that InDesign file wherever it's saved in Page normally and move it to your Rochester folder. And I recommend moving so then they're all in one place, so you don't have copies of pages in one place versus the other, so they're all in your Rochester folder. And then I know some of you keep copies of the pages that you download, say, it's like the original one page that you download, and then you save another copy of the one that you sent the proofing, which is totally fine. And you can still do that for Rochester pages. I just recommend keeping it all in your Rochester folder so it's kind of separate and you don't have any issues with opening up those working files, and they're a little bit more organized having them all in one place. That document fonts folder, we do have a master for that, and that's saved in the FCC layout folder. Again, I can send out the location of that, but that's basically our master fonts folder, and that along with your working files has to be in your Rochester folder at all times for your fonts to even work. And then outside of the document fonts folder, there are fonts that we do need to download from the Typekit. So you can go into Creative Cloud, and that's the Titling Gothic FB font. So I have instructions on how to do that also. And if anything were to go wrong, if they're not loading in InDesign, there's a couple steps that you can follow to make sure that they're loading for you. It's pretty self-explanatory on our guide that we have put together here, but obviously if anyone is having issues with Rochester fonts at this point in time, please let us know right away, because I think we've got everything worked out. We haven't had any issues for a while. I think the only issue that I wanted to bring up was just we're having a couple situations where the pages are being approved with the wrong fonts, and it may just be an oddball thing where it may be just in the column sig or just in the folio. And we realize that this is something that may just be happening on the CopyDesk side, but obviously always make sure that everything looks correct on your end before you're sending it to proofing. That it's just one more thing that you can make sure that is working correctly. You knew you sent it correctly, because it's hard for us to check it after the fact. If we open up the page and it doesn't ask to update the font, sometimes it'll just automatically replace it with those Rochester pages. So it's good for us just to cover all of our bases and make sure that before you're uploading your page, everything looks right, everything is the correct font, nothing is missing, nothing is pink, highlighted pink that it's a missing font. So then you know that you did your part and the page is good to go. I will send that out, like I said, with the email. I don't have anything else. Obviously, if anyone has any questions on anything, please reach out to a hub manager and we can help you out and get you taken care of. Otherwise, we'll lead you to the rest of your day. Have a good afternoon.